pretty excited here. I just got my Testo 550. It's the first time I'm using it. I already diagnosed that this unit's low on Freon, but now I get to charge the unit up. So I have my low side, or my vapor, my high side, or my liquid line. These are all nice and snug. They're not so tight that they're going to ruin my O-rings, but they're definitely snug. I have my temperature clamp plugged in here. I have it plugged into my low side, my vapor line. And then the other one, my liquid line there. And so when we look at this, we have 250 PSI on the high side, this is R22, and 63 PSI on the low side. Now this is 75 degrees, so if we toggle down, see T1 and T2, that means I've taken actual temperatures of the pipe. I toggle down, that's my superheat, and that's my subcooling. Toggle down again, and that's my temperature difference between the two pipes. And here's my evap temperature. So this is my saturation. This is my saturation for the high side, low side. So 34 degrees, I'm vaporizing, and then 116 degrees, I'm condensing. Toggle down, because what I really want is I want to know what my subcooling and superheat are. Now my subcooling is 15. I have a fixed orifice, so I'm going to go inside and get my wet bulb temperature before I continue. One thing I want to note that's very important is that you want to make sure that the coils are clean, that you're getting enough airflow, the fan is on the correct speed. I know nothing about this house. It's about to be sold, so I'm assuming the airflow is correct. I have checked the coil, it is clean. The condensing coils are clean. So I'm going to go ahead and play with the pressures and see what I come up with. If there's something obviously wrong, it's going to show up in my superheat and subcooling. So what I want is I want my wet bulb temperature, and I don't care what you're using. It takes a little while to get your wet bulb temperature. Make sure to take your time because you want to make sure it's correct. Also, I've seen guys kind of fudge it and go, oh, well, okay, so we're here in Florida. It's like, 10 degrees below dry bulb. Well, that may or may not be true. If the AC is not working correctly, your humidity is going to be up. So assuming that is going to be wrong. You're going to get yourself into a lot of trouble. So what I do is I take my field piece psychrometer. This thing's a piece of junk. It's pretty cheap, but you know what? It gets the job done. So just wave it around a little bit, take your time. I wait till my temperature bottoms out, and then I flip over to wet bulb and look at that. It's looking like about 80. It's still bouncing around. It's not really stabilized. And your thermostats here can be about 3 degrees off. So I'm reading 80, and this thing says 77. So we'll see. 79. Okay, it's 79, close to 80. Now I hit my dry bulb, or wet bulb, sorry, wet bulb. And it's 68. So I'm going to say 68. Now that's 12 degrees, 11 or 12 degrees less than the indoor dry bulb. 69, so that's 10. 69. Okay, now you got to get your outdoor temperature. And I was out here before, it was like 87-ish. What I use is my supercool slide rule. I love this thing because it gives me airflow readings, so I can double check my charge with the airflow temperatures, and it gives me both for TXV and for fixed metering device. This thing's great. I beat the hell out of it, as you can see. Fits in my bag though. I love it. Okay, so here we go. It's 87 on my indoor wet bulb. I want to set this, I'm going to set it to 68 because it's 69 now, and I'm only going to go less, not more, to 68. And I'm closer to 90 than I am 85. Barely. So it says 16 degrees superheat is what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit. Actually, I have my tank upside down. I turned it on and then I purged out the hose. I just released the hose a little bit, let a little Freon out. That way, make sure I have all air, or all Freon. I don't want any air in the hose. So, I have my superheat 39. That jumps around a lot. I'm not used to that. I'm used to looking at an analog gauge. This is my first time ever charging with a digital meter. This isn't a very big system. It shouldn't take very much Freon. Maybe like a pound or so. You just want to go in very slow, you know? Real slow. I'm just going to look at my saturation on my high side, because I want it to be about 30 above what it is outside. I'm about 32 right now. So, I mean, this is an old condenser, it's inefficient. It could just be a little bit plugged. Or there could be a restriction inside. At 16, subcooling, I'm not worried about a restriction inside yet. If I was over 20, then I'd be concerned. 37. So I'm going to bring this up to, I'm going to use a little rule of thumb here. I'm not going to go above 20 degrees on my subcooling, okay? Alright, just to show you a little bit of progress, I'm now 23. It's almost 18. That's fine. 264. 81 or 80 psi. So I'm going to let this thing kind of even out right now and let it sit for a minute. Okay, we're almost there. These things kind of bounce around 18, 20, something like that. So just add a little more. Scroll through these real quick. This is the temperature difference between the probes. This is the saturation temperature of the condensing coil. And it's 87 degrees out right now. So 87, 97, 107, 117, that would be 30. So it's about 33 degrees above the outside temperature, which is about 3 degrees higher than I'd like to see it on that unit. That's not too bad. And then we scroll down a little bit more, it's 102. On these older style systems, I'd like to see about 10 degrees over outside temperature. This is about 15, so I'm actually okay with that. The same is pretty darn close. I'm at 18, 17 subcooling, so 18 superheat. It's bouncing right there. It's like almost. And these caps right here, they weren't even tight. This could be tightened, or I could replace the Schrader cores. And this thing, I don't think will have a leak in it. So this thing could be good for another like 5 years for these people. So there you go, I'm going to do my part. Okay, I wanted to show you guys about the Testo, the app on this Testo meter. It's amazing. Okay, so check this out. First thing you need to do is hold down these two buttons until the Bluetooth symbol appears. About 3 seconds. And there it is, it's appeared. And now it shows up on my phone here. And here's my manifold gauge set. When I click on here, it brings up this meter right here. Now, I know you might be thinking, why do you need that? You're sitting right here next to your meter. Well, there's a couple reasons. One, because I can look at all of the information and 2, if I go into the attic, I can play with the metering device and check out my different readings. So there you go.